Nowadays, every investor that wants to buy a property in Lagos, particularly around the Ikoyi, VI, Lekki Phase 1, is almost certain that what is on their mind is Shortlet, Airbnb, charge per night, make 150k per day. And in this episode, we really want to look at it that why are so many people into Shortlet right now? So in case you are coming across a video like this for the first time, this is Meet the Property channel, and this way we discuss everything real estate, from land banking to buy and flip to cash flow real estate to Shortlet. We talk about everything here, to buying Ekpe, to buying a Bejuleki, anything that is related to real estate developers, real estate companies, real estate scams. We dissect everything here on this channel. So that's why if you are investing in Nigeria or you're about to invest in Nigeria, this is your go-to channel, because this is where we talk about everything really that you really need to know. So after watching this particular episode, which I'm very sure you're going to learn a lot from, I also advise that you go to our different playlists, particularly our playlist on Shortlet. You are going to learn a lot from the different topics that we have done on that playlist. So let's go straight into the topic. Why are so many people into Shortlet, and why is so many investors right now, everything they are thinking about is buy an apartment and put it for Shortlet? Alright, so before we start talking about Shortlet and why it's so high in demand right now and why it's so attractive right now, if you are not subscribed yet to our channel, once again, this is your first video or your second video or your third video on our channel, we really want you to subscribe. If you are enjoying, been learning from our guides, from our strategies, from our videos, from our content, we want you to subscribe. We want you to be part of our subscriber list, because more subscribers is more viewership. More viewership means that this content can go more viral. I want it to go viral because we want more people to learn, more people to understand how this market works, more people to invest more smartly too. So, and if you have subscribed already and you have not turned on your notification button, kindly follow the instruction on the screen right here on how you can subscribe, turn on the notification button, so that you don't just subscribe and then for weeks, for months, you don't see any of our content. But as we are dropping this content every week, you get notified and you can watch and you can be up to date with the different content and different videos that we are sharing here. So now let's look at why is Shortlet so attractive right now for investors, particularly those that are buying in the luxury highbrow areas of Lagos. People are buying properties in Magodo, Ikeja GRA, Ikoyi, Victoria Island, and even some classic places in Abuja. They all want to do Shortlet. Now, if you look at the current cost of apartments right now in the highbrow areas of Lagos, you realize that the cheapest apartment that you can see right now is like 60 million in a highbrow, and a decent 2-bed or 3-bed already right now in some locations decent is like 120 million, 130 million, 90 million for the minimum, just a decent 2 or 3-bed. Now the cost of this apartment right now have tilted a lot of investors to consider Shortlet rather than just rentals, because if I buy an apartment for 120 million, how much do I want to rent it out? If I buy an apartment for 90 million, how much do I want to rent it out? If I buy an apartment for 100 million, how much do I want to rent it out? So Shortlet provide a more attractive avenue for investors, and that's why a lot of investors are tilting more towards buy, furnish, and then put that apartment out on Shortlet instead of doing the annual rental or putting the apartment for tenants. Now, this has its pros and cons, because the fact is a lot of investors are buying these apartments. They are buying apartments in Ikate, they are buying apartments in Ikoyi, they are buying apartments in Victoria Island, they are buying apartments in Ikeja GRA. So which means for developers, they have a market because developers are actually selling, people are buying. Now, but for the people that are working in these locations, people that are working around Ikoyi, people that are working around Ikate, people that are working around Lekki Phase 1, people that are working around Victoria Island, there's a dilemma for them because there is no apartment for them. Because all the apartments that people are buying, they are not buying for them. They are buying for Shortlet. I can't be working in Ikoyi and then paying Shortlet per night. When I'm working in Ikoyi, I'm going to work every day. I can't be working in Magodo or be working around the Ikeja. I'm going to rent or book a Shortlet for 365 days. It's not possible. So that means people that are working in these locations, in Ikeja, in Ikoyi, in Ikate, they will have to either buy a property in that location or go and rent a property elsewhere. You get now? So because the investors that are buying the houses in these locations, based on the cost of the apartments, they rather just do Shortlet than give it to them that are working there. Now, the second reason why Shortlet is in like the most attractive form of investment for a lot of investors is because it's a hot trend. It's a hot trend. You know, unlike land banking, a lot of people are buying land since forever and ever. So buy and rent out, people have been doing that since forever and ever. Either it's a 1 bed, it's a 2 bed, it's a 4 bed duplex. But Shortlet right now in our industry is still like 3-4 years old. So it's still a hot trend, which means that there is still a big market gap to fill in. And there is a large target audience that are also pushing and thriving the demand in that area. Apart from Nigerians that come into the country, particularly during the Ember months, a couple of Nigerians here also use Shortlet steadily, particularly people that go on occasion a lot. So when they have a wedding, they want to book Shortlets very close to that wedding. When they have an event, a seminar, a conference, they want to book a Shortlet close to that area because they want that home away from home feeling. So that's also pushing and thriving the demand in that in that market. So is really still hot right now, and there's still a big market gap for a lot of investors to fill. Now, the third reason why Shortlet right now is really so much attractive for a lot of investors is because there is the option of they can stay and as well they can earn, which means that investors are looking at it that if I buy this house, anytime that I'm in the country, I can be there. Anytime that I'm away, I can earn from there. So, which is really a big deal, considering that that apartment will not just be locked up for months, yielding nothing. So, the idea of I can still even make money from my apartment or from my house, that I stay in Nigeria, and if I'm not staying there, is to still be yielding some form of return for me, also push the demand for Shortlet too. So a lot of investors really don't buy a property in Lekki Phase 1 because they want to stay in Lekki Phase 1. They don't buy a property in Ikoyi because they want to stay in Ikoyi, and they know that even if they are not around for a whole year, the apartment will still be yielding back something. Now, the challenge with that idea is if you own an apartment that you stay and you are also using that apartment for Shortlets, then you have to do a lot of profiling because you might not want to really accommodate anyhow person in that apartment, because you want to be sure the kind of people that want to come there to stay, that are people that are at least that can maintain the aura and the atmosphere of that house to suit your liking. Because the moment you open it that anybody can just come, you might just come around and you may really not want to stay there because the atmosphere have changed. Because trust me, a lot of people do different things in different spaces that they rent for Shortlets. Alright, so the last reason is because the target audience that need these Shortlets are not looking for where they can be for a long time. They are only looking for a place they can be for a particular period of time. And these targets or circle of audience start with Nigerians that come into the country for a particular program or for a particular period of time. They are in Nigeria for 1 month, they are in Nigeria for 3 weeks, they are in Nigeria for 2 months. They preferably we want to be in a short-let apartment because they are charged per night or per day. They are not renting the entire space permanently, and because they are not renting the entire space permanently, at least everything that they need will be there: the chairs, the furnishing, the cabinets, the beds, everything. So they don't have to pass through the headache of renting a house, paying 1 year rent, and now starting to furnish. So Shortlet takes off that headache from them. Now, a lot of Nigerians also, particularly high-earning Nigerians, have to do business or have to do meetings at different locations or even at different states. And instead of maybe going to a hotel, some of them also are interested or tilt towards going to a shortlet, because some of they assume that, or they just have that perception that the shortlet is more secured. It's inside an estate. There are like security there. Authorization is very strict, and there is no camera looking there, watching them or spying on them. So they have that confidence that, okay, yeah, this place is safe for us. And again, they also have that home away from home feeling too. So there's a target audience that needs that particular service, and that target audience right now is big, much bigger than even the available apartments that fit or fill in that service. And that's why it's very, very attractive for a lot of investors right now. Now, but looking at the trend, looking at how this is going right now, when you look at all the apartments that is being built around Ologolo, apartment that is being built around Chevron, apartment that is being built around Orchid, apartment that is being built around Ikate, and even every other part of Lagos, even down to like new apartment around Yaba, new apartment around Surulere. A lot of investors also are more interested in buy, furnish, and do shortlets. Now there's a market gap there right now, but the question is, will that market gap still be there in 5 years' time? Looking at how many new apartments is being built per day, and also looking at how many new apartments is being bought per day, and how many new apartments is being bought into the shortlet market per day, will the available apartments still be lesser than the audience that needs it in 5 years' time, in 4 years' time, or somehow there will be a saturation of demand with more apartments in supply for shortlets than people that needs it? Despite that question, or despite that particular concern, right now we still have a thriving demand for shortlets. With your apartment being a great location, having a very good access, and with the right advertisements. See, if you have a shortlet apartment, one of the best ways that you can get bookings right now is to use influential marketing. Influential marketing will work a lot for you, because if you can get someone with a high number of followership online, and a person can record maybe a skit or a shoot or a video in your apartment and mentioning that, oh, this skit or this video was even recorded in so apartment, so shortlet, stays, whatever state that you give your name. Trust me, a lot of people will want to check it out, try it out, because they feel like, oh, my role model was shot or lodged in this apartment. They also want to be there. So influential marketing is really something that you should look at if you are into shortlet and you want to get very, very good bookings. Trust me, by the time you use like very good influencers, the active ones, like 2 or 3, you are going to get very good bookings for your apartment. All right, so the shortlet market right now is attractive, and I'll give you the reasons why they are attractive. Looking at the current cost of apartments, then putting out those apartments for rent doesn't really make sense. Then the second reason, when you look at, there's actually a market gap of people that really needs a place to stay on a short-term basis. Then the Shortlet apartment is also attractive. Also, there's also look at it that the return on investment there and the break-even period for Shortlet is faster than if you do annual rents. Although you don't really have to look at only the break-even, you also need to look at the running expenses. If you buy an apartment and want to rent it out, you don't have to furnish. But if you buy an apartment and want to do Shortlet, you have to furnish. So that's also another thing that also need to look at too. So now, the break-even period for if you buy an apartment and want to do Shortlet is faster than doing rental income. That's another reason why the Shortlet markets, the Shortlet apartment are also very, very attractive. But this is my advice: always do your maths, do your projection, look at your running expenses at least for the first 2 years, and at least have a clear advert budget for the first 6 months. Either you get booking or you don't get booking, because Shortlet is highly advert driven. So if you have questions and you have suggestions based on what you have discussed in this video, I would really love to hear it. I'm here to listen to you. I would really love to hear it. You can drop your suggestions, you can drop your comments, and I will attend to it and look at the best way for you to invest, the best way for you to promote, and the best way for you to get high bookings for your Shortlet apartment. So I see me on the planet, your property advisor, property consultant, Rabi Mustafa. Thanks once again for watching our videos. Thanks once again for sticking with us. Thanks once again for dropping your comments. Thanks once again for giving us the thumb likes. We appreciate you guys. For subscribing, also sharing our content. We appreciate all your efforts. We appreciate all your support, and see you next time.